So always I'm going to start with paying attention to our body. And this is very important because everything that we think or we want to create in life, everything that we would like to bring into our existence must be embodied. So today's meditation, we're going to start with taking a nice deep breath, calling ourselves into the body. If you can allow your eyes to gently close and contain the mind, the energy, the emotions here. We have to express all of ourselves through these five senses and the mind and the intelligence and express it in our life. And our purpose here today is to be able to, through that expression, create a vortex of energy that raises us, that allows us not only to get to a place of greater well-being for ourselves, but also to bring along with us anyone who is open and willing to be a part of this. So deep breath. Feel the body. If there are any tensions or tightness any place, relax that. Allow that to dissolve. Today's meditation has two very powerful underpinning of belief that really helps us to get where we are trying to go. The first of that is that everything we want to create in our everyday reality must first be present in our energetic space, which is beyond the mind, which is the spiritual space. And once we are able to create it in that space, it will find its way to percolate into our thoughts, into our actions, into our beliefs, into our perceptions. Everything will be lifted up to that space slowly, gradually, but definitely the space that we are trying to create. The second principle is ask and it is given. That's how the universe works. That's how we create from a space of love. When we ask from an open heart, sincerely, purely, innocently, the universe responds. And there is a third principle which I did not mention, is that when more than one person come together to put out that prayer in the same direction, with the same intention and great conviction, the power is not twice as much. It is synergistic. So here we are, so many of us. It is our privilege, it is our duty. It is absolutely why we are here today, present in this life, together with one another. So let us contemplate this reality. Nice and deep breath. And come to a great space of gratitude in the heart. As we acknowledge the privilege of this, as we acknowledge the significance of this, and as we strengthen our resolve to move into that space which deep inside all of us are yearning for. A little closer to bringing heaven on earth. Deep breath. As we present ourselves in our bodies, as our souls come here to express its purpose, sometimes we may be a little lost. We may meander a little bit away from the course. Our meditation today is to invite the soul back to remember. Remember why we are here. It's all about love. And to remind each other that when we are in difficult spaces, like we are today, all the more reason that we have to find that love that is there deep within our light and deep within our hearts. And if we seem to have lost sight of that for some reason, let us remind ourselves. Just feel it, just feel that heart open up. Think of somebody, something that you dearly love. It really helps to expand and open the heart. It is our heart which is the gateway to our spiritual presence. We invite that. The highest level of our enlightened being that we can access. Come, be with me, dwell in my heart, so that everything I do, everything I say, is suffused with this wonderful energy from which everything is created. And before we go and radiate this out to everyone else outside of ourselves, let's take a few minutes to focus on ourselves. Everything out there is a reflection of something that we hold inside. And when that part of us resonates with what is going on outside, it feels those emotions, those energies, those vibrations. And if these are dark, it can bring us down, drag us into those spaces that we don't want to go to. So let us take a moment to go inside and ask, what am I afraid of really? What is making me so fearful today? Truthfully. And the moment we acknowledge it, we own it, we name it, we can now bring that love into that space and ask it to be dissolved. So the light of the soul, which shines brightly in the heart center, is now allowing that fear to dissolve, knowing that I'm always supported. There is a part of me that has great wisdom, that has great ingenuity. I just have to be open to those levels of intelligence and well-being that overcomes all this fear. Let's look inside again and acknowledge the shame we may be feeling when we identify with some of the actions that are taken out there, that we judge and we say that is not human, that is not intelligent, that is not leadership. And almost a part of us is being torn and brought out and saying, you recognize that. And but for the grace of God, you could be one of them. And let us go in and acknowledge all the shame, all the judgment, all the condemnation, all the separation, all that pushing away that we do when we point our finger and say wrong, wrong, wrong. It only adds to that. Let's go ahead and take a nice deep breath and resolve to dissolve this with our love, with the light, with our awareness, that pushing against something only gives it more power. To resolve it, we must step up, transcend, move to a complete different level of awareness and consciousness where well-being abides, where love is strong. And we are going to teach ourselves to hold this space, to hold this belief absolutely be assured in our mind that there is a greater wisdom in those very people that we are judging. And in me, that part of me that feels small and scared, there is a greater wisdom. And we can all access it. I, you, and all the people out there that we look at and think of as less. Take a deep breath and contemplate that. Healing myself of my own perceptions, beliefs, and judgments that allows me to rise above this milieu, like that lotus from the mud and the muck and the density, rising above to face the sun, to feel the air, to see the light and radiate it out. Nice deep breath as we allow that lotus and the jewel within that lotus to make its appearance, to become visible. It is there. Om Mani Padme Hum. It is I, that jewel, that can hold this piece of beauty and love infinitely radiating, lifting, and anyone who can feel this can feel a little better, a little less fearful. And can resolve to walk in this direction, to grow, to love, to create that which does not push anyone away. Nice and deep breath. We'll stay with these thoughts for a moment or two. Basking in that light, in the heart center, on the jewel, on the crown center, on the abundant flow of that wonderful universal loving energy permeating. Learning to embody this. Imagining it, thinking about it, praying for it, giving voice to it is only the beginning. Feel it, breathe it. It is I. I am here. I am present. I wish to serve. And from here, from this great space of loving resolve and intention and desire to do well by ourselves and for others, our action will emerge. Let us resolve that we recognize energies of separation when we see it, when we hear it, in speeches, on the social media, in articles written, when our friends and family talk about them, those who are taking us down this path. Recognize it. Recognize that people who are in places of fear feel very vulnerable because they don't know how to deal with it. All this oppression, suppression, all these loud voices proclaiming that everybody must now be controlled and directed in one direction. Let us understand what that is doing to our spirit. We have to speak up. We have to remind them. We have to create a space in our hearts and open it and hold that resolve, that space, the belief that you will understand this wisdom. It's only love that can overcome hatred. How can you love? I am going to love you and hold this space in my heart for you. With an invitation, come here. Understand this truth. Know this truth. Experience this truth. This is where we belong. This is where the soul rests. Call it back. Open the heart. Be present. Be aware. Be courageous. Know your truth. Speak your truth. And embrace the greater part of you. The pure, the completely undamaged, the whole. It is there. And we will radiate it out in every way that we know to.